white folk rule us with fear. It is not white people, it's your fear of them that you gotta be freed from. You are a slave, a dressed up Brooks Brothers alligator shoe wearing, diamond ring wearing slave.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Hello.
Hello. All of you and people who love peace all over the world.
Hey, Mark Kaysen.
Yeah, I know who it is. Hang on.
I want to bring him now.
What's up?
Okay, before I go any further, we are live on the air, and I just had to call you to find out because you told us you was going to find out why the mayor was not giving that money to poor black folks in North St. Louis City. And it's been 2 weeks, Mark. It don't take white folks that long to get information.
Well, it's exactly what I said. There are things that are operating that make it difficult to sometimes do this. It's not like they can just say, okay, here's the money and turn it over. They can't. Okay. Now,
wait.
No. So what they are going to do is they are going to give me specifics, and I'll relay them to you as well. And actually, you'll be able to hear it on our program, which starts today at 4:00 and can be found at top.
Wait a minute. Hold up, Mark. Hold up. I didn't hang up on you. I got you muted, Mark, because I want you to not be so disrespectful. You're going to sit here and tell me that we got to wait until your program. You told me 2 weeks ago you was going to find out, and you said something to the effect that it's not easy to give emergency money that was sent by the federal government to the people in the midst of a crisis.
It's not easy.
But it takes 4 years, Mark, or almost 4 years.
Well, they're going to have to tell you that. It's not me.
No, but you told me you were going to find out.
I'm not holding the money.
Well, but you said you was going to find out, and you didn't believe that it was being held. But you
it's exactly what I said.
And you found out the money is being held up.
I found out not by Tashara Jones.
But wait a minute, hold up. Is it not emergency money that's being held up, Mark Kaysen?
Sure.
Okay, so you telling me that in the midst of a crisis, coming out of a crisis, it takes almost 4 years to get emergency funds to a poor community and poor black folks. It takes 3 to 4 years to do that. Is that what you're telling me?
Apparently so. And I'm gonna tell you. I can't tell you this minute because they don't know either. But they're going to give us very specific information, which I will relay to you.
Okay, but before you do that, Mark, let me ask you this question. Do you not agree?
But understand, I'm on the run, but go ahead.
Okay, but do you not, I know you're on the run, but you got a second for this. Do you not agree that COVID-19 devastated the world? It was one of the hugest crises in almost 100 years. You wouldn't disagree with that, would you?
And what about it? Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so you're telling me that if the federal government recognizes that and say that these poor people over here need some emergency help, we're going to send them some emergency funding to help them post-COVID, and you're going to tell me it takes almost 4 years to get that funding to those poor people from folks with college degrees?
The answer is yes, and let me quickly tell you why. And this is a crazy thing I'm gonna tell you, but you should understand this. And we discussed this on Bosley's show when I was on last week. when you are a wealthy white person and you've got an accountant, that accountant can fill out the paperwork and get everything that needs to be received immediately. My accountant did it for me.
Well, wait a minute, Mark. I'm not going to let you do that here. I will not allow you to blatantly disrespect my people in my community. Black folks, poor black folks in North St. Louis City don't have an accountant. Poor black folks in North St. Louis shouldn't need an accountant to get funding, that emergency funding that was put here by the federal government in the midst of a crisis. You should not tell all these poor black folks in North St. Louis that they got to go get an accountant to get the federal funding, emergency funding that was sent here by the federal government. You shouldn't do such a thing, Mark Casey. Matter of fact, I tell you what, I don't even want to talk to you about this right now, Mark. You insult my intelligence. Now, folks, y'all just heard that. This is my supposed to be a nice guy, Mark Casey. He's trying to tell me that it takes educated people 3, almost 4 years to get emergency money to poor black folks in North St. Louis. Is there anybody out there in the world that agrees with him? I got a phone number that's open right now, 732-1212. Y'all just heard the man. He said it takes educated people with degrees 3 to 4 years to figure out how to get emergency funds to poor black folks in the midst of a crisis. Have you ever heard such a thing? Have you ever heard such a thing? That is ridiculous. And I won't tolerate that. Mark, you're going to have to come better than that. You're going to have to come better than that, Mark Casey. You cannot do that on this program. This is Town Hall Community Radio, the special edition. And you just heard this man say he was going to go and find out why the money was being held up from poor black folks. And he didn't say the money wasn't being held up. He agreed that there's money, emergency money, that's being held from poor black folks in North St. Louis City. But what he wouldn't say is why. And is it just me, or is there anyone else out there that believes that it should take 3 to 4 years to get emergency funds to poor black folks? The sad part is that, and what they're not telling folk, and what people are really not looking at, is the mere fact that the President of the United States went before the nation and declared via State of the Union that we were going to rebuild and rescue Americans from the ground up. And those monies were supposed to be spent in the course of 3 to 6 months, and they were supposed to send back for more funding to tell them how much more they needed in this rebuilding effort. But those that represent us don't think enough of us, don't care enough about us to even begin the process of rebuilding with what the $512 million that was sent. And they were supposed to spend that money and send back for more. That wasn't enough. If you take the time and go and sit and listen to the State of the Union, what the president said, this is not enough. But get the ball rolling, because we don't know how much you're going to need. But take this, get started, and send back and let us know how much more you need. And those that are elected to represent us failed us. To this day, you cannot find one elected official that's willing to talk about this, because it's so shameful. It's so embarrassing. It's so pathetic. It's so despicable that these people sat on this money and kept resources and help from poor black folks in North St. Louis City. That's what's so despicable about us, despicable about this whole thing. And the mere fact that you can't find one elected official, be it an alderwoman, an alderman, a state rep, a senator, a congressperson, nobody can, in their rightful mind, can stand before you today and say what has been done is right and it's okay and it's a good thing. Nobody can say that. That's the reason they're so quiet. They're so silent about the mere fact that the federal government sent money for poor black folks in North St. Louis City, and they sat on it and didn't spend it and sent back for more like they were supposed to. But I'm the bad guy for telling y'all about that. That's the sad part about it. I had to hop on here for a moment. We were testing out these new microphones. I can't wait the next Saturday. We got a heck of a show geared up for you. We're doing it each and every Saturday and Sunday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's Town Hall Community Radio. Our phone number is 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212 is our phone number. And I am definitely looking for folk that can tell me what you're witnessing as it relates to these funds is okay. And I just don't think there's nobody out there that's foolish enough to say that this is okay and this is fine. This is wrong on so many levels. And the mere fact that all these people we vote for and elect to represent us, all of them are silent? Each and every last one of them? You mean tell me now that one of them have enough backbone to speak for the interests of the poor folks in North St. Louis City? That is despicable. That's despicable, y'all. And I'm going to keep talking about this until something is done. And I just hope and pray that at some point in time, folks understand that this is going to go down in history as one of the most embarrassing things to North St. Louis City when it comes to black folks. The President of the United States provided funding to help rebuild, starting with the Hood Census Tract from the ground up. And those that are elected to represent us sat back, stood back, and did nothing. Didn't do anything to try to get those funds to the people and the resources and the areas that were needed to help rebuild our community. They had a blank check from the federal government, and they stood by and did nothing. That's history, folks. Black history in 2024. Black folks get money from the federal government to rebuild their community, and those that are elected to represent them sat on the money, collected the interest, and gave the people nothing. That's your black history for 2024. That's your black history there. How about that? How about that? And please, don't nobody say I'm attacking. I'm not attacking anyone. I'm speaking the facts and the truth. And if those facts and the truth attack somebody, that's their problem, not mine, because they created that scenario and not me. I'm not the one that sat on the money to collect the interest and gave the people nothing. I'm not that one. This is wrong on so many levels. This is wrong on so many levels.
Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
All right. I'm back, man. I wanted to see if we can get somebody that's listening out there that heard what we've been talking about. To 732-1212. This is a special edition of Town Hall Radio on this President's Day, and I can't believe this guy would come on here and say that it takes 3 to 4 years for people, educated people with degrees, to figure out how to get funding to poor black folks in a distressed area midst of a crisis. It's almost like saying the folks down in Louisiana, when they had that Hurricane Katrina, when after that hurricane went by, you're gonna tell me it takes 3 or 4 years to try to go in there and save them people? No, you in a crisis, man, you get the people the resources, the funding that they need at that time. That's why they call them emergency funds. And for anyone to justify keeping those emergency funds from folks after a crisis, something's wrong with them. And if you notice, people, nobody has tried to challenge or say anything that I've brought to you all thus far was wrong. Everything is been the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And these words came from the president. I'm not telling you what somebody told me the president said. I'm telling you what I sat and watched and heard with my own eyes and ears. The president said, this is not enough money. Take this, get it started, and send back for what you need. Because they had a commitment to save America. That's why they call it Rescue American. That's the Rescue American plan. They use codes to keep a lot of folks from understanding what they're talking about. They saying the ARPO funds did this, the ARPO funds did that. You've been hearing the terminology ARPO this, ARPO that. ARPO is the American Rescue Plan. That's money from the $1.9 trillion that was granted through Congress and the Senate as it relates to post-COVID and resources needed for American citizens post-COVID. And these monies was put in this plan to get to people in distressed areas such as North St. Louis and places all over the world. We're not the only ones that got it. Other cities got it. And they did something with it. They didn't sit on it. They didn't get the interest off of it. In other cities, they gave it to the people like they were supposed to. And they're doing things. But in our city, we're sitting on funding almost about time for it to expire. They're going to have to fool around and give the money back. And they'd rather give it back than to give it to poor black folks in North St. Louis City. That's February 2024 Black history at its finest. And if anybody can disagree with that, I'd like to know how and why. And that's just, I had to get that off my chest this morning. And it's been weighing heavy. And I tell you, folks, there is nothing good about what's been perpetrated on the American people.
You are a slave, a dressed up Brooks Brothers alligator shoe wearing, diamond ring wearing slave.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
And my good buddy out there.
We believe that all men are created.
Mark Case, I ain't mad at you, Mark. I knew you wasn't going to come through. Mark Cason promised me that he was going to, because he said that he did not believe that they were sitting on money and holding money from poor black folks in North St. Louis City. And lo and behold, he found out they were. And then he tried to go on to say that it's justifying and holding that money, that emergency money, for 3 and 4 years from people midst of a crisis, and that is just despicable. I don't care what nobody say. It was wrong in the first place to not even tell the people about the money. Why did they keep that money such a big secret? They told you about they had the money, but they didn't tell you what the money was for and where the money came from. And that's to me that's misleading. That's wrong on so many levels that they should not have been allowed to not tell folks what the money was for, and they did that. They didn't tell folks that this was part of the American Rescue Plan post COVID, that these funds were designated for indigenous people and people in distressed areas post of COVID-19 and a crisis, and that's just wrong on so many levels, and we've gotten to the point as a people and as a community that we allow things and we accept so much and expect so little, and it's like, because our expectation is so low that what we receive and get is even lower. And that's something that at some point we're going to have to look at, and we're going to talk about why do we accept so little? Why do we allow so many things to take place? Folks running red lights and no one's holding anyone accountable as it relates to enforcing traffic laws in our community. Why is that so acceptable? Why don't nobody? I mean, you can't argue the fact that people are getting killed as a result of traffic laws being not enforced. So if traffic laws aren't being enforced and people are losing their lives, why should we be silent on that? Why should nobody care enough to say, this is wrong, and we can do something. Something has to be done, and we have resources in place, but we have to utilize them constructively and correctly in order to heal results. And we can't just say, people gonna run red lights, ain't nothing we can do about it. People gonna speed and weave in and out of the lane, ain't nothing. There are traffic laws, but you have to have people in leadership positions at the police department that care enough about the citizens that it took an oath to serve and protect, but nobody's serving and protecting traffic laws being enforced. And that's wrong. Nobody's just willing to say, you know what, we won't take this anymore. We're not asking, but we're demanding that things, in fact, be taken out. Good morning. Yes, it is. For what day, sweetie? We're closed on Mondays. We could take care of you on tomorrow. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we're closed on Monday, sweetie. I do apologize. If you'd have told us a day or two ahead of time, we would have made a special arrangement to take care of you. But it's no way we can do it probably today. All right. I'm sorry about that, sweetie. All right. Thanks for calling. Yeah. We need at least a 24-hour notice on the catering unit. But let's see here. We got a caller. Let's take this caller. Good morning, caller. You're live on the air. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm calling because I was listening to the program, and that sounds about right. They're not holding anyone accountable for anything that's going on out here, and it's like we the last on the totem pole.
Basic policing is enforcing traffic laws. That's the first start of policing a community. That's the first commitment. And the problem that I really have with it, not only the fact that people are losing their lives, but the mere fact that it causes insurance to go up. People are tearing up folks' cars and property, and it's just wrong on so many levels. But caller, let me ask you this. Were you not aware that the federal government sent hundreds of millions of dollars?
Yes, and we ain't got none of them. And we ain't got none of it. They said they was going to do like a $500 a month, for the St. Louis City residents. We haven't got that. With the Ram settlement, we haven't got anything like that. They keep talking about putting the money in the dome. Well, the dome is not helping the community.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think if the dome needs some repairs and some updates, it would be fitting to take some of that money from the Rams to do that.
Well, they say they giving them $30 million, and then they still need more.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still not enough. But these small black businesses haven't got any of this money, and it's a shame.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that it's right that all of the so-called elected officials that represent poor black folks in North St. Louis are silent on this? Do you think it's right that they should be silent on this?
No, they shouldn't. They shouldn't be silent on this. They should have a lot to say because it reflects their leadership. And their leadership is poor.
Mm-hmm. Caller, thank you so much for that call. We appreciate you calling. Continue to listen and continue to call. 732, area code 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212. You can call in and voice your concern. What do you think about the mere fact that your leadership is silent on emergency funds that were sent here in your interest, that you don't see it. You don't get to have access to those fundings that was sent by the federal government. And the sad part, and the real kicker for me about this whole thing is they had an opportunity to spend that $512 million in 3 to 6 months and then send back for more. Remember, the president said we must start rebuilding from the bottom up, starting with the hood census tract. That's what the president of the United States said. That's not what Prince Carter said. They were supposed to start from Delmar all the way north and from the city limits down to Jefferson as a target of the hood census tract to begin this rebuilding phase. And for those folks to not do like they were supposed to do, and they didn't have to have a board bill on this. They didn't have to be. These are federal funds sent in the midst of a crisis. You don't have to vote on that. All they had to do was identify, as the president said, the needs and the desires of the people in those given areas. What did the people need? What did they miss out on when they were out of work? What did they get behind on? There was money in there for car vouchers. There was money in there to tuck point your house and to put new roofs on your house. If you needed a new furnace or new whatever in that hood census tract, we were supposed to rebuild from the bottom up. And they could not send back for more money until the money that they initially got was absorbed. So if you don't absorb that money and you put it in the bank to draw interest, you're not in a position to send back for more funds. And that's the problem that we're having, is that they failed to do that. And for all of this so-called leadership and all these people that say, vote for me and we'll set you free, and none of them care enough about the people to say, you know what, we can't do this. This is wrong. This is wrong. We got to get these people the resources that the federal government told us to get to them. And I don't understand how so many people can be just blind and just unmoved by what has transpired. This is a part of black history that's going to go down as one of the most shameful things that has been perpetrated on the community and the people as a whole. And it sickens me to think that folks are sitting around thinking that this is okay. There's nothing wrong with this. And then they're thinking that you're attacking. I'm not attacking nobody. I'm talking truth, and I'm speaking truth to power, and I'm saying what has been done to black folks and poor black folks in North St. Louis is wrong on so many levels, and anybody and everyone should be outraged with what has happened to this community and these people as it relates to these funds sent here by the federal government. I stand on that. I believe that, and we got a number 314-732-1212. 314-732-1212.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother,
use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
More and more people that need help but just can't find it because their local elected officials are sitting on it. That's all I can tell you. Welcome back. This is Town Hall Community Radio. I'm your host, Prince Carter, on this Monday. We're normally not on Mondays, but this is a special holiday edition since we were off work and we had some new microphones in that we were running to run and give a test run. So I figured we hop on here and go live. I also wanted to make something perfectly clear, folks. The American Rescue Plan money and the RAMS money is two different pots. Let's be clear on that. The $250 million out of the RAMS money is totally separate from the money that I'm speaking in terms of that was being set on, or should I say held hostage for 1,081 days that was designated for distressed communities and people of color, indigent people. And let me see. I was supposed to call somebody back, and I'm going to see if I can get this. I tell you what. Let me do this. Because I did tell this person I was going to call him back. Let me see if I can raise this person here.
Revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
Yes, they are. They are just
So we
denied.
say to all in this nation who dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
Yes, and you sat down with a guy who gassed the Kurds. Oh, once again, you're not alone in this position. I don't know, I'm certain you must feel it. You have significant numbers of Americans who support the position that this...
One of the things I wanted to talk about also this morning, folks, this has been weighing heavy on my mind. The United States took out Gaddafi, who was, in my opinion, not half of as much of a threat as Putin. And a lot of folks ain't paying attention to what's going on with this Putin mess, but I don't understand how Putin is allowed to get away with the things that he's allowed to get away with, and I don't understand why they don't. They took out Saddam, they took out Gaddafi. Why won't they take out Putin? I don't understand that. I wish somebody could help me understand that. I don't know much about the foreign affairs, but I do know from where I sit and what I've seen, Putin is a very dangerous man, and I think that he's also in cahoots. As far as I know, is Trump is one of his partners, from what they tell me. The Rams money breaks down to this, folks.
No, that's the ARPA.
Oh, this is ARPA. This is ARPA here?
Yeah, the top is Rams.
Yeah, the bottom is ARPA. Yeah. Okay, so the top, the Rams money is $250 million, and St. Louis County got $169 million, and the Dome attorneys got $70 million. That's a good take. I wish. Dome Authority. I'm sorry, Dome Authority, and a separate fund of $30 million was set aside for expanding the dome itself. And for the American Rescue Plan, the city received. It's saying here's $498 million. I was under the impression it was $512 million. The first payment, June 2001, was $250 million, and the other half, June 2022, and must be obligated by the end of this year here, 2024. Funds must be spent by the end of 2026, and what I don't understand, for the love of God, is why would a people sit on money that was designated for folks in the midst of a crisis? To me, that is equivalent to saying that you got folk I'm gonna use Hurricane Katrina again. If the folks in New Orleans didn't get the aid right after the crisis, and they took the funds and sat on them for 4 or 5 years after that, what good would that have done the folks that were living through that crisis? When you're dealing with a crisis and when you're living through a crisis, you need help right then and there. You need help on the spot. You don't need help 3, 4, 5 years later. And that's what folk don't seem to get. Folk don't seem to understand that in the midst of a crisis, that you need the help right then and there. And why would one who said that they wanted to help erase the Delmar divide get a blank check to do just that, and a huge eraser to erase that Delmar divide? It started with rebuilding in the Hood Census Tract from the bottom up north of Delmar. Why would you take that money and say, you know what? It's been looking like this for so long, and they've been suffering and doing bad over there so long, they used to it. So we can take this money and sit it in the bank and just continue to let them suffer, because they've been suffering all this time anyway. So why take the time to get them the help? And good morning. Another telemarketer, them doggone telemarketer. So why take the time and energy to get them the help right away? They've been suffering for so long. They've been doing bad for so long. They've been redlined and blackballed for so long. This is not an emergency. We can take this money and sit it in the bank. Let those folks continue to suffer and make it the best way they know how. And we'll sit this money over here in the bank and let it draw interest. And they don't need it. It ain't no emergency. It's they can continue to fend for themselves like they've been doing. Hell, that's just how that's what they're saying to me. That's how I see it. And if you see it differently, I encourage you to pick up that phone and dial 314-732-1212. But why are the elected officials silent about this issue? Why won't they say Prince Carter's wrong, Prince Carter's lying, Prince Carter's making this up? Why won't they say that? Why? Because they can't. Because what I'm telling you is the truth. And if you take the time to do your homework and figure it out for yourself, the American Rescue Plan, that $1.9 trillion was real. The American Rescue Plan included poor black folks in North St. Louis City, whether you want to accept that or not. And it allowed funding for these distressed people in this distressed community post-COVID in the midst of a crisis. And those that are elected to represent you and I said, they've been suffering and doing bad all this time. Let them continue to suffer and do bad. We're going to take this money. We're not going to give it to them. We're going to put it in the bank, let it draw interest, and don't even tell them about it. Don't even let them know about it. We're not going to let them know about what this money is really for. We're going to tell them we got some money, but we ain't going to tell them where the money came from. We're not going to tell them what the money was designated for. We're not going to tell them that we're supposed to be spending X amount of dollars on drug treatment. We're not going to tell them about the money that was awarded for homeless populations and homeless people. No, we're not going to tell them that there was money earmarked here for mental illness. No, we're going to sit this money in the bank and let these people continue to suffer and let these people continue to do it and make it the best way they know how. And we're going to sit on their resources. We're going to sit on their funding, and we're going to feel good about it. And we're not going to have any shame in our game about it, because that's what we do, darn it. That's what we do. And that's who we are. And anybody that don't like it, just shut up and be quiet about it. And that's the attitude I'm seeing and I'm feeling from those that are elected to represent us. We can't even get a one elected official to say, you know what, this is wrong. To stand up and speak for the people. Not a one. Not a one. And they're going to be running around saying, vote for me, I'm going to set you free. But they won't represent me. They won't speak in my interests. They won't stand up against wrong when I'm being wronged. They won't speak out for injustice when I encounter injustice. What type of representation is that? Who needs that type of representation? Who wants that type of representation? Is it you? Sure ain't me. Sure ain't me. And I'm talking about this because it needs to be talked about. It needs to be dealt with. And folks need to understand what's being perpetrated on a people and a community as a whole. It's just despicable. It's despicable. And folks that are in positions of so-called power won't even stand up and speak in your interest about the injustice of holding emergency money for 1,081 days from poor black people and poor black businesses north of Delmar. That is just despicable. And I'm going to say it, and I'm going to continue to say it until somebody can prove me wrong. You can't shut me up till you can prove me wrong. And I know what I'm talking about, and this is wrong on so many levels. I'm going to continue to bring it out. I'm going to continue to say that the powers that be has control over the media. Why won't any of the media really dissect this for what it's worth? You got all, and I send this information to all of them. They all know about it. Don't act like they don't know. So how is it they're able to get away with this? How? It doesn't make sense, people. It doesn't make sense to have someone that cruel to say, you know what? You've been suffering for so long. You've been redlined and blackballed and mistreated and neglected for so many decades. You might as well continue to suffer. You might as well continue to be neglected, because we're going to hold these funds from you and we're going to put them in the bank and we're going to let them draw the interest. And ain't a darn wrong thing you can do about it. People, that's cold. I don't care what nobody say. That is just downright cold, man.
You are a slave, a dressed up Brooks Brothers alligator shoe wearing, diamond ring wearing slave.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
And so we say to all in this nation who would dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
The hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
And so we say to all in this nation who dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
Yeah. All right, I'm back. You're back. This is Prince Carter, a.k.a. King Prince Carter. And we are live on the air talking about whatever you want to talk about today. I've been talking about this money. I'm still talking about this money that's been set on and held hostage from the people, 1,081 days. There's some folk that think that that's okay. I like to hear from them. I like to talk to them. How do you feel about your city? What do you think about St. Louis? How do you feel about your representation, those that are elected to represent you? And good morning, sir. How you doing there?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing good, sir. Sir, I want to say that I can't come tomorrow, sir.
You can't?
Yes, sir, I can't. I just got email that I have an orientation program for my project.
Okay.
10:45 to 1:50.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Tell Money and Praveen. I'll see him tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. All right. Multitasking here. This is one of those days when we can open up the airways because I'm off today and we can talk about anything that you want to talk about. But I would like to hear from some people, if I could, that have honest opinions about where we are as a community, as a people, as a city. Are we moving in the right direction, or are we doing that which needs to be done to make our world better, to make our living conditions better, to make our community better? Are we really content with busing our children out of our community every day to areas where they're not wanted to be educated? Do we want to rebuild schools in our own neighborhoods? Should we rebuild schools in our own neighborhood for our children? I would like to know how people really feel about children being bused into areas, oftentimes where they're not wanted or welcome, and in the name of getting a quality education. Why can't children have resources in their own community, in their own neighborhoods, to empower them and to prepare them for the world that we know of as it is? Is it okay to continue to bus children, get them up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, to be bused away from their communities? What is it that we find to be so acceptable about not having access to education in our own neighborhoods, in our own communities? Was that a part of the design to strip people down, to dumb them down, to make things less, for lack of better words, acceptable? Why can't we build schools back in our own neighborhoods? Why won't we do it? There's funding available. There's money out here for it. Who's trying to really look at the educational structure and tie it into what's going on in our neighborhoods and our communities? There's a drug crisis that has an impact on all of these things that we speak about. That oftentimes folks say, well, it ain't me. I ain't on no drugs. It ain't my problem. Ain't nobody in my family on it. I don't know if anybody can really say that part, but that was money sent here for drug treatment and drug addiction and mental illness that's been set on for a number of years, and nothing's been done in those areas. Do anyone really believe that if we just continue to ignore these things, that they're just going to mysteriously just go away? Do it require work on our behalf to bring about the necessary change and the things that need to be done as it relates to improving the conditions and the quality of life for our families, for our loved ones, for our community? Are we doing the best we can really do? That's something I often ask folks. As a people, as a community, are we really and truly doing our best? Is there any way possible that we can do better? Is there anything that we can possibly do to enhance the quality of life for ourselves, our family members, and our loved ones? Those are some of the things that I like to talk about. And I enjoy hearing other people's take, because I tell folk all the time, I don't know it all. I don't have all the answers. I'm always open to be enlightened, for lack of better words. I like folk to open my eyes to something that I may be overlooking, or give me a perspective that I probably would have not considered in the past. I welcome those things, and I always tell folk, and I can't say it enough, if I ever say anything wrong, I encourage people and to correct me. I'm one of those people. I don't have a problem with being corrected. I just don't. I like to be corrected when I'm in and when I'm wrong. However, I don't think that I'm wrong when I say that as a people and as a community, we're not doing so well, people. And that's just my take on it. Again, if you see differently, I like to know what we're doing so great at. I may be overlooking some things. I look at a football game I went to a few months back, and I got very upset and disturbed. We was at a kids football game. One of my grandkids was playing. They had this. It's like an all-day tournament where they have different age groups and different things, and they had the kids playing on the field. And then behind the field, on the other side, was a warm-up and practice field. And I went over to the warm-up and practice field, and a lot of the teams, they would have these boom boxes that play music, because some of the kids, they come out on the field to a certain theme song or what have you, or whatever motivates and riles them up. But while the children were practicing and warming up, I couldn't help but hear the music that was being played for children. And these were children that were 8, 9, 10 years old, tops. And the music that was being played had so much profanity, and it talked about B's and H's and MF this and MF that, and I'm like, am I the only one hearing this? And everybody's just going around. Some folks even bobbing to it and dancing to it, and I just thought it was so inappropriate. And to think that we have gotten to a place in this world where the so-called adults that are over these children find nothing wrong with this. That's really disturbing for me. But one of the guys brought to my attention, he said, man, most of the parents are young, so they hear this music. They play it in the car with the children. I think about the children that are subject to cigarette smoke in these cars with their parents. Is that fair to them? And not just cigarette smoke, but even, marijuana. Don't get it twisted now. I believe in medical marijuana. I've subscribed to medical marijuana. But I would never smoke marijuana in front of my grandchildren. They would never see me do that. Some folks call it keeping it real. They going to know the truth. They going to know. It's some things a child just don't need to know at a child's age. When I was a child, I recall how we were not allowed in this. Like if my mom had company, we couldn't come in that living room. We had to stay back in the bedroom, keep the doors closed, and stay out of grown folks' business. Now we're in a society where kids are all into adult business. They're all into adult conversation. And I don't think it's helping the child by exposing them to some of the foolishness and madness that some parents find to be acceptable. And they do it. And these children think that this is normal. And they think that this is the way it's supposed to be. And that's why when they go out in public, they behave the way that they do. And they have no respect for adults. The teacher that was jumped by the students over there normally, there's no way we would have jumped on a teacher or fought a teacher back in our day. But these children have become so disrespectful and so just I don't know, man. And it really disturbs me to know that so many people find this to be acceptable and they don't think nothing's wrong with it. I'm working on a piece now trying to put in force an all-out cry for zero tolerance on school personnel. Nobody should be going to no school talking about jumping on nobody for nothing. If there's a disagreement, if there's something wrong, there needs to be things in place, proper protocol, call for a meeting with the principal, sit down, let's talk about it. But to go enraged to a school with the notion to beat up a teacher or a faculty member is something that should be totally unacceptable. And there should be a zero tolerance to that type of behavior. But from what I'm being told, that it's a lot of that going on with parents wanting to go to these schools and fight, which is probably one of the reasons, I guess, they don't like having schools so accessible. I know that when those children are bused to Timbuktu, those parents aren't getting in their cars and driving out into those rural areas and talking about jumping on none of those teachers. I do know that, or if I'm wrong, correct me, but I haven't heard anything like that because it won't be accepted or tolerated. But those are some of the things that I'm most often concerned with, and I look at how can we as a community make it better? How can we do it and be more effective in getting or yielding results as it relates to improving the quality of life for all of us? That's something I wanted to talk about. And this is Prince Carter. You're listening to Town Hall Community Radio. I am on the radio.
Revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's the below me.
How do we heal? How do we heal the wound of our community? Our community is wounded in so many areas on so many different levels. How do we begin the process of healing our community? How do we heal a people that have been broke down, shot down, knocked down, beat down, kicked down, threw down, and still have hope still have power on their minds. Good morning. Hello. He's in a meeting right now. Thank you very much. I don't know these telemarketers, man. They won't give me a break, man. They keep blowing my phone up. I want to say good morning to Bill Monroe and good morning to DJ Fuji, my OG partner there, and all my good friends over there at Mitchell's Packaged Liquor on Martin Luther King, and sending mad love out to Mother Hazel. That's my girl, that Miss Hazel. She's always on the ones and twos. David Jackson, how you doing this morning, my friend? We got a phone number if anybody want to jump in and share your views, your opinions, and your thoughts on anything. We don't have a subject. You can talk about whatever you want, whatever concerns you, whatever you think can contribute to a better place in this world, whatever you think that will contribute to a better community, a better people. 314-732-1212. That's the phone number. It's working now, and we encourage you to use it if you don't mind. And let's see here. There's something else. I missed a call, and let's see if I can. Okay. I don't think that that's not what I was trying to do. I had that was a while ago. Okay. So nonetheless, the phone line is working. We do know it's working. 314-732-1212. We're going to be on here for about another 15 minutes or so, and then we're going to hop off. But those are some of the things that I wanted to talk about this morning, and I just wanted to get some stuff off my chest. We got this new microphone in, and we're getting it ready for the weekend. We're going to be doing Town Hall Community Radio every Saturday and Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. We're going to have different hosts and guests, as well as always have the ability to take your call and to allow you to chime in. This platform was put together so that we can have a centralized location where people can express their views and opinions, as well as share thoughts and ideas and get information out. I do know that there is a fundraiser coming up on, I believe it's Saturday, the 24th. The committee to change the name, the Change the Name Coalition. They built this hospital down here on Jefferson, and they tried to name it. Well, they didn't try. They have named it Homer G. Phillips Hospital, and there are folks that are strongly against that, and take it as an insult to put a 3-bed facility with the name of Homer G. Phillips. Homer G. Phillips was a huge institution within our community that has a undisputed track record of producing some of the best physicians in the world. They were known for saving lives and performing surgeries that other folks had to come and learn how to do. I was a patient at Homer G. Phillips back in the early 70s. I had a real bad eye injury, and Homer G. Phillips had one of the best eye clinics in the world at that time, and I benefited from that. And it was a hospital where teachers who were rejected and denied other facilities of medical learning, and they were able to get their degrees and learn medicine at Homer G. Phillips Hospital. I think it started back in 1938 up until I think they closed in, I don't want to say 78 or 79. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was 78. Huh? 79. It was 79. Okay, it was somewhere around there. And that hospital was world known for some of the things that it did as it relates to medicine. Now, the coalition is having a breakfast this Saturday in the form of a fundraiser, because they're committed to forcing these people to change the name of that hospital and not insult disrespect the legacy of Homer G. Phillips. And I commend Sister. I wish I had a way of getting in touch with Zenobia. Sister Zenobia was, she's one of the members in that coalition. I'm going to have to see if I can dig her up. If nothing else, I will be attending the fundraiser on this Saturday. It's a breakfast fundraiser, and it's at some church. I think it's 3118 or 3114 Park. And if I'm not correct on that, someone please call and correct me. But it's this coming Saturday, the 24th. It's called Change the Name Coalition, and they are strongly against the naming of that hospital down there on Cass and Jefferson. They want them to take the name Homer G. Phillips off. As I agree, it should be taken off. You should not blatantly disrespect the legacy and the history of Homer G. Phillips with such a small facility. It's a blatant disrespect. That thing down on Jefferson is more in line with an urgent care. Now, they probably would have not gotten that resistance had they probably come up with, and they probably would, I don't know, urgent care in honor of Homer G. Phillips. That would have been probably more acceptable, I think. I don't know. What's your take on that? Do you think they should change the name of that hospital on Cass and Jefferson? Should it stay Homer G. Phillips? What do you think? How do you feel about it? I wish someone would share their opinion and thoughts about that hospital being named in honor of Homer G. Phillips. The original Homer G. Phillips still stands as to this day as a senior living facility. It's the Homer G. Phillips. I don't have the exact terminology, but it's an adult facility, senior home for elderlies, and which to me is a better fit and a more productive recognition to the contributions of Homer G. Phillips. I look at some of the doctors that came out of there, man. We had some of the best doctors on earth right there in our own backyard with Homer G. Phillips Hospital. And I just can't say it enough. I'm so thankful that the Change the Name Coalition stepped up to the plate in an attempt to not allow Homer G. Phillips' legacy to be blatantly disrespected, and it's really a sickening thing to think that they think that little of us, to think that you can just take that name and apply it to a 3-bed facility. It's just unacceptable. And why would they try to do that, considering the historical significance of the name Homer G. Phillips, as well as the contributions that Homer G. Phillips made to the black community as a whole? So again, hats off to all those with the Change the Name Coalition for accountability, and I pray that you're victorious at having that name removed from that facility there at Cass and Jefferson. They can name it anything in the world, but just don't name it Homer G. Phillips. And that's pretty much the position that these folk are taking, and I stand with them and in solidarity with the coalition, the Change Your Name Coalition, as it relates to the facility there at Jefferson and Cass that should not be allowed to honor Homer G. Phillips with such a insignificant facility. I don't think that it serves the legacy of Homer G. At all. And I'm just glad that they did, in fact, step up. And I'm going to do all I can. As a matter of fact, I'm going to find somebody. Maybe I can get Craig Riggins. He likes to eat. Wayne Moody, he likes to eat. We'll go over and support the fundraiser on Saturday. And it's in the 3100 block of Park on the south side. It's a church. I don't remember the name of the church, but I do know it's in the 3100 block of Park. And if someone knows the name of that church, they could call me and help me out here. 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212. If anyone knows of the facility that I'm trying to name over there, and it's a church in the 3100 block of Park on the south side, where they're going to be having this fundraiser for the Change Your Name Coalition. I don't. Maybe I don't know who goes in that area that I could even call right now that to help me with that. But that's the fundraiser this coming Saturday. I believe it starts at 9:00, and it's the Coalition to Change the Name fundraiser at in the 3100 block of Park on the south side this Saturday. So Saturday morning I'll have more about that, but I'm gonna see if I can dig down and find someone. Maybe I got a couple of folk I can call. Martha West may have a contact for Zenobia as I think about it to see if we can get more information about that coming up this Saturday morning, because we'll be on the air from 6 to 8. So if I can probably find someone with the coalition who can give you more details and explain to you better about this coalition and the purpose of it. And we got a caller here on the air. Caller, you're live on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Prince. I think that's the Beloved Community United Methodist Church, 3115 Park Avenue.
That's what it is. This Saturday. Are you familiar with the fundraiser this Saturday?
Yes, I am. Only that I heard about it. I plan on attending, but I'm still recuperating from my operation. But I think it's going to be well attended.
And I hope and pray that your recovery is speedy. But Carla, what's your take on that name of that hospital there on Cass and Jefferson? Home and G.
Well,
How do you feel about it?
I feel the same way you do. They could have named that hospital anything they wanted to, but I think they did a disservice by naming it after Homer G. Phillips. I mean, that really diminishes the contribution that that facility brought not only to the St. Louis region but to the country. As you said, training some of the best black physicians in this country. So I'm hoping they're successful in getting it removed. But you had two top notable black people that supported that, and until those two blacks say anything, it's going to be an uphill battle to get it removed.
Now, do you know who those are? Those two that supported it?
Yes, I do, but I care not to say because one is a former top politician of the state, and the other one is a local politician or tries to be a local politician. You know what they do. They say that they're leaders in the black community, but they don't speak to the community. So I don't know how they consider themselves being leaders.
Carla, let me ask you this. Were you aware of the federal funds sent post-COVID for the black community in North St. Louis?
Oh yeah. It's unfortunate that it's just sitting there collecting interest. I don't know any business that has received any of their grants. Of course, they gave a lot of folks that looked $5,000, which
they didn't give a lot, folks. It was only 900. It was 900 people.
It was only 900.
900 got the 5,000.
Yeah.
And they won't even disclose who those 900 people were.
Right.
Right.
I mean, they won't disclose none of that. None of what they're doing or what they spent. I mean, it's ridiculous. I've never seen nothing like it before in my life.
And
not in.
I'm surprised. Elliot Davis can't even touch this.
No. It's the only thing that can help us if somebody filed a sunshine complaint. that may open the books. I don't know, because the city has said that they putting the money in play. It's kind of we don't want to, and we can't talk about it because it's in play. Unfortunately, it's not reaching those people that it should.
Now, this is coming up on 3-4 years ago, post-COVID, and this was a crisis. A lot of folks don't understand the impact that COVID-19 had on the world. I've never seen anything that shut the world down like COVID-19. Have you?
No. I don't ever think it's been done. I mean, I don't think you could look back at the history of this world that you've seen, not in this country.
Well, they said
shut it down.
They said it was a pandemic that was back in, I want to say 1918 or 17, somewhere back in those days, or it might have been earlier than that. But I just think that for the American government to recognize a crisis and to say that we want to rescue America. That's what the terminology American Rescue Plan. It was to rescue people post a crisis. And they took that opportunity to almost provide a blank check and told local government here, those elected to represent us, that this is not enough money. Take this, start rebuilding, and send back for what more you need. But our elected officials decided to put it in the bank and collect the interest and let the people continue to suffer and do without. To me, that's wrong on so many levels.
Yeah, I just think it's a whole lot more to it, Prince, than we see it. Because just because you're in the power to hold that up, don't mean you should hold it up. So there's a reason it's being held. Don't think there's not a reason.
Well, the only reason I could come up with, and mind you, the target area for the most part of these funds were targeted toward north of Delmar from Jefferson to the city limit. That's a huge geographical area of the Hood Census Tract. And for that type of money to be withheld, it prevents folks from allowing homeowners to improve their property value, which means now that this once blighted area that you were keeping the property value low and shoving people out at the same time, now it would begin to rebound and come back because of the investment into that geographical area. So I think that could contributed to some of the withholding and not wanting people to have access to resources to revalue their homes, for lack of better words.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So, but that doesn't make it right now.
No, it doesn't make it right. But, we've got these so-called political leaders that they have the mindset that only they are right, that they are the only ones that can produce it. You look at just like Martin Luther King, from downtown 12th and Cass, all the way back to Wellston. Martin Luther King, as far as development, is afforded every economic opportunity that's out there. And look at Martin Luther King,
which was once one of the most thriving thoroughfares in the city of St. Louis, in North St. Louis.
Yeah.
You could get everything you wanted and needed from Martin Luther King Drive back in the day.
And the city should be trying to attract companies to come along there because, like I said, they are eligible for every tax, every economic opportunity that there is from the federal government is along Martin Luther King.
And this American Rescue Plan, and there's also, I don't know if you've been paying attention to this or not, caller, but there is a plan to bring actual physical financial reparations to the St. Louis region, which is one of the reasons, in my opinion, that the mayor created this coalition for reparations. This panel that they put together, I believe that they're going to utilize this panel to say that they went to the people and this is what they said or how they felt that the reparation money should be divided or given to the people. And I tell folk all the time, it's important to be at the table, to attend these town hall meetings when these type of discussions are made public, so that actual people in the community can have a say-so into what they feel that these funds should be utilized for.
I agree 100%. It's just like the Rams money they're trying to figure out how to go. Even though they did open it up for community input, it seems now that the mayor has set that to the side because she thinks there's a better program and programs that can work that would be a long, successful plan rather than a quick fix.
Well, I actually heard the mayor say, as it relates to the Rams funds, that money should be set in the bank and collect the interest and operate off the interest. And I one of the things she said was save it for a rainy day. But when you are like myself and you've been living in North St. Louis for almost 60 years, you've been through the storm so many times that you say it's time to spend the money because you want enhancement, you want improvement. You don't want to sit around and just depend on the interest of that money. You need to continue to operate as if that money didn't exist, but utilize and maximize the potency of this money. And to have it sitting in the bank drawing interest does nothing, in my opinion, for the masses of the people.
No, and it actually hurts.
Mm-hmm. But caller, let me ask you one last thing before I let you get out of here. As it relates to traffic laws in the city of St. Louis, are you a driver? Do you drive much?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Have you noticed the blatant disregard over the last couple of years as it relates to traffic laws not being enforced by the city itself?
Most definite.
Not a week ago, there was a mother and a daughter visiting here from Chicago. And they came in for a concert, the Drake concert. And on an innocent outing, here's some innocent folks that came to our beloved city to enjoy a concert and end up losing their lives because we live in a city where they don't enforce traffic laws. Does that not disturb you as much as it disturbs me?
It does. It does greatly. But, the first thing you have to think about is, number one, the young folks that are driving these vehicles that is ignoring these traffic laws know they can get away with it.
And so they're
going to run as many. Right, no accountability, and there's not enough police officers on the street to even prevent it. If you stand on Natural Bridge in Grand, you can count how many times you see a police vehicle pass on one hand within an hour.
Mm-hmm.
The mayor does not believe that additional policemen will help our crime situation, and that's wrong. That's the furthest truth you could think of.
I really don't think that she thinks that. I would have a hard time believing that she could.
Well, that's what she says. That's what she says.
She doesn't think more police officers would help the situation?
Nope. It was out of her own mouth. She does not believe additional police officers will help with our crime.
Well, if that be the case, then how can you utilize the fact that you're understaffed as a reason for not getting the job done? To constantly harp on your so many hundred officers down. We don't have policing in our communities anymore. I tell folks all the time, we have what I call it a response unit. And the reason they're able to say the crime is down is because, for one, it takes so long for folks to actually get through 911 sometimes. And some people just get frustrated and don't even report the crime.
The 6th district is the largest district in the police department.
Mm-hmm.
At any given time, there's less than 4 patrol vehicles in that district.
Okay. Do you have the geographical area of the 6th district where it begins and ends?
No, but I do know it goes all the way from Union and
That's in the Baton
Union
area.
and West Florissant,
So it would include
all the way
Baton.
to the Baton, all the way down to Baton. Yes, it's the largest. It's the largest district besides the third. And on a given shift, there's only 4 patrol vehicles in that whole area.
Well, you know, I find that hard to believe, but I'm not saying that you're not right. But I can't imagine only 4 units patrolling that given area. That's insane almost.
Believe it, Prince. I mean, when I heard it, and I heard it from the horse's mouth.
You know, somebody.
And this is the. Go ahead.
Somebody was saying that a lot of police join the academy now to become police officers, not to become police officers so that they can have the badge and go into, second duty where they make $25, $30, $35 an hour doing secondhand security work.
Yeah, most of them do.
And,
you're right. Just about every police officer has a secondary job because they can make that kind of money.
But I just don't believe that it's not enough police officers to do a better job than what they're doing. I think, I know it's got to be over 900 or 1,000 officers on that police department. It has to be. And if that be the case, you need to pull some of these folks out of behind these desks and get them back out here on the street. If you took, let's say, 60 police officers and you take 30 for the day shift and 30 for the night and assign them to nothing but traffic, they can have a huge impact, in my opinion, on crime, because what it's going to do is going to, first and foremost, allow folks to understand that you can't just keep riding them up. And as well, when they're pulling these people over, they can get illegal guns, drugs, and all kind of things off of the streets. They're not utilizing the tools that they have. If you have less manpower, you have to use these cameras more and be more strategic in addressing the issues in this community.
And I believe that's what they're looking at now, because it's so hard to fill those vacant police slots. Now they're looking at surveillance as the alternative answer to community policing.
And another factor is, it's to my understanding, some of these newer and younger cops are afraid. They don't even want to pull anybody over. They done gave all these crazy people guns. Some of them have guns with 100-round clips in it. Just imagine, would you want to, I think about it, if you were a police officer, would you want to be the one to pull over the car with a AK-47 with 100-round clips in it?
No way in the world. You know, I was privy to a police shooting and killing a couple of years back at Grand and Natural Bridge, where a single police officer pulled over a car with 4 black males in it, which I thought was strange. But I thought he was going to sit in the car until his backup showed up. But he got out the car after he pulled them over, and the one black male in the back seat got out the car and just unloaded into him.
Really?
That was the worst scene I've ever seen.
Now, how long ago was this?
This was back in the early, I say, 2019, 2018. The officer was killed right there on the mobile gas station.
Wow, I missed that one.
Yeah, yeah. And his partner pulled up. Right after he was shot and killed. But of course, the guys that was in the car, they all ran and got away. But you know, I don't. It's hard to be a police officer nowadays, because most of these young guys got more firepower than the police officer does.
And they're not afraid to use it.
Not afraid to use it.
And
not afraid to use it.
I just feel so bad for those individuals that really want to do policing, and they don't have the tools and resources to do it. I say they knew what they were getting into when they got into it. The historical regime of the police department has gotten us to where we are today. And I think that because the police have gotten to a place where they're saying they can't beat them down anymore. They can't just flat out shoot them down. They're going to be held accountable. So now they don't even want to pull them over. I think that's a bad message to send, and I think that more people are going to continue to lose their lives as a result of not enforcing traffic laws.
Yeah, if there's no consequences, these young people know this, and that's one of the reasons they commit the crimes they do. There's no consequence. I don't care what it is. They can be out of jail, if not that same night, the next morning.
Mm-hmm. Caller, thank
There's
you.
no consequences.
I want to thank you so much for calling. Don't forget, we're going to be on the air every Saturday and Sunday morning, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. We're going to be taking your calls, and we're just trying to share information and have a platform where we can, as a community, come up with strategic ways to improve the life for us all.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Continue to listen and continue to call. That's a very interesting call. I enjoyed talking to that caller there, and I think we got time for one more before we get out of here. 314-732-1212. If you have something to contribute or add to or take away from what we've already discussed, please give us a call now. That's area code 314-732-1212. Once again, that's 314-732-1212. And one of the things that I want to harp on, and we're going to stick to this, we're never going to have a topic. We're going to have this platform where people can call in and share whatever they want to share, whatever is important to you. Because if it's important to you, it should be important to us all. And that's just how I feel. I think that too often we have talk programs where people are corralled into discussing one thing, being concerned about only one thing, and we have a multitude of things that need to be discussed and be concerned with as it relates to the enhancement of our people in our community. There's so much suffering going on. There's so many ills that we're plagued with. We're going to have to find strategic ways to address these concerns and come up collectively and work on a united front to better not only ourselves and our family, but our entire community. And that's what we want to use this platform for, and hope and pray that as days and months go on, that we will continue to grow. I was a little rusty when I first started this thing. I hadn't been in the radio for probably, over 10 years. And okay. And I just want to thank all those that have been helping thus far with putting this thing together. It hasn't been easy. It's not a solo effort. I have a number of people working behind the scenes to help get me up to speed and to get me the resources that are needed so that we can provide a concrete, solid platform for our people in our community as it relates to centralizing information and data. Again, this Saturday is going to be a fundraiser for the Change the Name Coalition. The coalition committed to getting the name removed from the hospital on Cass and Jefferson. The Homer G. Phillips name needs to be removed from that. I stand with that coalition. I support that coalition. I hope and pray that you do too. I encourage folks to get engaged, get involved, and to understand that it's a slap in the face. It's a total insult to the legacy of Homer G. Phillips for them to place that name on that facility there. And I'm going to continue to reach out. I'm going to get off here now and bust a move. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for allowing us to come into your homes today. I'm your host, King Prince Carter. This is Community Radio. I'll talk to you soon.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
And so we say to all in this nation who would dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters. I think I'm hearing revolution.